And we're back.
Hello. Are we? Is it good morning?
Good morning.
It is.
Yes, it is.
Good morning, beautiful sister. Good morning, beautiful family. Thank you for joining us.
Yes. Lesson 105. And Sis will be reading for us today. Thanks, Sis.
Okay. I like this lesson.
Yeah, this is the good news.
God's peace and joy are mine. God's peace and joy are mine. I'm joining you all in this. Like, there's a transmission, a divine transmission here. I'm receiving it while you're receiving it, and we are strengthening that in our, of course, united minds.
Yes.
United. That's not the word I'm looking for. Joined.
Yeah.
Okay. God's peace and joy are yours. Today, we will accept them. That means receiving them, right? Knowing they belong to us. And we will try to understand these gifts increase as we receive them. They are not like to the gifts the world can give, in which the giver loses as he gives the gift. The taker is richer by his loss. Such are not gifts, but bargains made with guilt. The truly given gift entails no loss. It is impossible that one can gain because another loses. This implies a limit and an insufficiency. Wow, this is a concept that took me probably a good 15 years to get when I first began studying the course. I really didn't understand it, nor did I have anybody. I didn't have a group like this or any mentors that might have been able to share their own experience in this to help me along and quicken the journey. But this is interesting because the ego, I don't know if because through the ego, when we give something, we seem to lose what we give, right? And what Jesus is speaking about here, it's a law of God. It's the opposite to what the ego perceives, which is that as we give, we can't give without receiving. It's impossible. I don't know if it's right to go into this in more detail yet. Maybe we should just keep reading, yeah?
Well,
what do you think, Sis?
Just to clarify what you just said, why don't we lose when we give? And that's, if there's one of us here, an individuated expression, and we give, are we not always giving to ourselves, right? And the desire to give, to extend truly, it's not about the object, it's about that desire to move beyond selfish interests. It's about extending love. Well, where does that impulse to extend and to share with another come from? It's an exhaustless source. It's God within your mind. It's that impulse, love's impulse that you received and extended. When it's God through you and out, and it magnifies, remember there's, I don't know what lesson it was, maybe 89, but everything that we give truly is magnified and it comes back to us like tenfold, right? So it's just, it's an impossibility to give and to lose. Only the ego takes what's true and puts it into finite mortal things and says, now we're talking about physical objects and you can have more and you can have less. And that as I give to you, I end up having less. It's changing everything from what we declare as things into ideas, and ideas can be shared. So when you know that, and when you're giving and your motive is love, it's actually increased and magnified and returned to you greater than what it was that you gave out. Beautiful. So you can never be impoverished in giving.
Beautiful. The clear, thank you, Sis. The thing for me is the intent behind the giving.
That's right.
Because for most of my life, just like I guess most people within the dream, giving from the mythical me, the false self.
Oh,
We give to get. We,
totally.
and so the intent is impure.
Mm-hmm.
The intent, unfortunately, this is going to sound blasphemous, but unfortunately, when the ego gives, it gives with an intent to get, well, to actually rob.
Yes. Yes. I was the world's best Christmas present giver, and I would spend lavishly. And in the back of my mind, like I ring up my credit card bills and my Best Buy credit card bill. And then every month I'd have a reminder of how I sacrificed myself in the name of love and giving. And then if they weren't really grateful, I got to resent them. It's so lovely. Giving to get is so toxic. Christmas time is a beautiful, ripe learning opportunity for all of us in that department. Yeah.
There's a blog. It just came to me. And it's a really, really helpful blog.
Okay.
And I've forgotten the name of it. So I want to put it in the
Oh my gosh. I tell you, I forgot to lock the room. Hi, Karen. I'm sorry. We're doing some private recording right now. Will you forgive me? Oh gosh. How do I? Okay.
Anyway, while we're okay, I'm going to put it in the whatchamacallit.
Yes.
The description box, the show more box.
Show more.
Underneath is right.
Yes.
Okay. So there'll be a blog. It's about giving. It's got the word giving in it.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I think that's so important. It's such a big, big area, and the world promotes it with this commercialism of how, we're supposed to be giving, but there's all sorts of strings attached to that giving. And if it's not an impulse from God, it is the ego, and the ego doesn't know how to give. It has no idea how to love truly. It always has a motive behind everything that it does.
And that's why it can't receive anything.
That's right.
So it's continually trying to get.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it can't receive. Only the holy self can receive, give, receive, because they're both the same.
That's right.
Are we off topic?
I don't know. Sorry, guys. Little detour.
Forgive us.
Yes.
Okay. Am I reading? Yes. Second paragraph.
Yeah.
No gift is given thus. Right. Talking about. Okay. The ego giving. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Such gifts are but a bid for a more valuable return, as we were talking about. Right?
Not on the same page.
Yeah. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm just trying to find out where you're at, because my second paragraph starts with a truly given gift entails no loss. Do you have that?
Oh, okay. Yes. You're all right. Remembering that I'm reading the FIP version of the course and you're reading the COA version.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I am beginning with the third sentence after that, which is no gift is given thus.
Okay.
Can you find it?
Yeah.
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 So, together?
Yeah. So before that, it says a truly given gift entails no loss. It is impossible that one can gain because another loses. This implies a limit and an insufficiency.
Oh, I see.
Okay, go ahead, sis.
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Sorry, I must have missed that. Yeah. No gift is given thus. Such gifts are but a bid for a more valuable return, a loan with interest to be paid in full. A temporary lending meant to be a pledge of debt to be repaid with more than what was, to be repaid with more than was received by him who took the gift. It sounds like my mortgage.
Yeah, that's it right there. Oh my goodness. That's so good.
Oh, this strange distortion of what giving means pervades all levels of the world you see. All levels. Wow. It strips all meaning from the gifts you give and leaves you nothing in the ones you take. There's the ego thought system right there. You know, it's the scarcity principle, right? It's total scarcity. A major learning goal this course has set is to reverse your view of giving so you can receive. For giving has become a source of fear, and so you would avoid the only means by which you can receive. What he's saying is the only way we can receive is by giving.
That's right.
Accept God's peace and joy, and you will learn a different way of looking at a gift. God's gifts will never lessen when they are given away, but they increase thereby. So what is he's talking about here, sis, in this paragraph, right?
Yeah.
So he says, giving has become a source of fear, and so you would avoid the only means by which you can receive. Wow, that's so profound.
Maybe think about it.
The whole ego thought system is out there to gain completion by getting from others.
That's
Yeah.
right. Mm-hmm.
Seeking its own completion. So it believes, it really does believe that what we give, we would be devoid of. We would have nothing left, right, if we took on this thought system, the Holy Spirit's thought system. Is that right?
Yeah, and the basis of this is because we first make a decision of what we think we are. And if I am mythical me, I am in a state of complete lack. I feel unworthy, I feel guilty, and I'm seeking externally to satisfy what can never be satisfied out there. But I'm a getting mechanism. And a proof of that is like in the special relationship. It is seeking to get from that person your sense of okayness, your love, your good, your desirability, your happiness has been placed in somebody else, and you've got to go get it from them. And as long as we're doing that, we don't turn around and recognize that we don't make that connection, which is, remember when we first looked within and found that and saw that, I'm mythical me and I'm in a state of lack. What the ego doesn't want you to do is stop and turn around and deeply look within your mind to discover that you are already God's will. You have everything already because God has given it. It's already done. It's in your mind. It's available to you right now if you want to forgive what you thought you made and accept your inheritance. So it's about not, out there getting, but it's an internal recognition. And when you know that you are the fullness of the Christ, and that dawns, like you become this fountain of expression. Like we are God's expression. We are the means for God in the world to be the light of the world. So we are just a giving mechanism because our source is God. It's exhaustless. So we get in touch with that and we just end up expressing love. And when love meets love, what happens? It's magnified, right? And we feel it in return. God feels it in return when we're extending his love. So that's why when we're in the realm of reality, you can never be depleted or impoverished or lose anything because you're back in source, in touch with your source, which is God. And there's no lack in God.
And thank you, because what that brings me to is the realization that every one of us eventually will come to a point in our advance of trust in God, Holy Spirit, to the place where we want to fulfill our purpose. All right. Mm-hmm. Of course, it's forgiveness, but the way that that shows up for every individual is going to have one unified stamp on it. And that is that we're going to want to serve. I know I've said this before, but it's like this, it's like God's will through us. We are God's will, she said. And, you know, it wants to serve. It wants to give. That's where we gain our true joy from that. And that's the sense of completion. That's a real sense of completion, is in giving, not in getting.
Right. That's the difference. Yeah.
That's huge. You'd say that about your life right now.
Oh gosh.
Your joy.
Yes.
Isn't it?
When we're in our function.
Yeah.
God created us to extend itself through your individuated expression. So when you are allowing that to flow through you, you are in joy. You are in peace. You're knowing the Father. You're loving your brother. Nothing's missing. Yeah. Peace and joy. That's how you gain access to it. Peace and joy is my function. They're the gifts of God. It's what we are. Okay.
So 5. Just I found the lesson. No.
Blog.
Forgive me my confusion. All right. I found the blog. Thank you, sis.
What's the title?
I found the title of the blog, and it's called "Busting the Myth of Giving."
That's it. I remember that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
yes.
we're going to have "Busting the Myth of Giving." It's an audio, and you can print it out too if you want to read it. And it's going to be down there in the description box. Yes. Fantastic. Shall I keep reading the lesson? Will we get it done by
tonight? Yeah, go ahead, sis. I think we're on 5. Yeah.
Okay. So tell me if I'm at the right place. As heaven's peace and joy intensify, is that where you're at?
Can you start at the beginning of that paragraph? Accept God's peace and joy. Is that not the beginning of your paragraph? Oh my gosh. How could it be so different? It's a lesson. There are the lessons the same, I thought.
I don't know. I don't know where we are.
Okay. Let's just back up and start at
well, I read that part. Forgiving has become a source of fear, and so you would avoid the only means by which you can receive.
Yes. Now the next sentence is accept God's peace and joy.
And you, accept God's peace and joy, and you will learn a different way of looking at a gift. God's gifts will never lessen when they are given away. They but increase thereby. Yes, I've already read that, I think.
Yeah, thank you. You were right.
Oh, what a forgiveness opportunity. Okay, now, as heaven's peace and joy intensify when you accept them as God's gift to you, so does the joy of your Creator grow when you accept His joy and peace as yours. True giving is creation. Wow. True giving is creation. It extends the limitless to the unlimited, eternity to timelessness, and love unto itself. It adds to all that is complete already. Not in simple terms of adding more, for that implies that it was less before. It adds by letting what cannot contain itself fulfill its aim of giving everything it has away, securing it forever for itself. I just got the chills then when I read that. Yes. Like that just went right through me like a lightning bolt.
Yes.
I think I might just have my toe in the water as to this experience, even here in the ego dream.
Yes.
And I think you do too, sis.
Yes. It feels like, God is this infinite, but God is everywhere, infinite, omnipresent. But so God would be the container. And yet God is sending forth this impulse of mind and love into each one of us as an individuated expression. And so it hits our thought as an individual. Think of like a stained glass, a piece of stained glass in a stained glass lampshade. The light is sent forth, and then your individuated expression takes that and it reflects or extends it beautifully, like no other individuated son of God can, but as you extend it, it's still within the realm of God, and God is receiving. This is how God experiences itself. It's just adding exponentially, eternally, forever and ever, building and building and building. But God is just knowing itself through everything that we're doing. And the source of what we're doing is him. So he's the source, but he's also the receiving of it. And this is how we love God. Take off our defenses and just be an open portal, this transparency for the love and will of God. Yes to the will of God. Extend it, magnify it beautifully, the only way that you can do it. He wants you to. It's his will. And there's that song of prayer, the love song between father and son. You can feel that. Yeah, that's good. Thanks, Dad. Thanks.
Thanks, Dad. Thank you, Papa Bear.
Thank you. Love you. Thank you for my life. Yeah. And that's creation.
That is so uplifting, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thanks, sis.
We're returning to that.
We are.
With our beautiful brothers and sisters.
We are. Yeah. I can't wait to see what you all do. Beautiful.
Okay, 5. Today, accept God's peace and joy as yours. Let him complete himself as he defines completion. You will understand that what completes him must complete his son, you, as well. He cannot give through loss. No more can you. Receive his gift of joy and peace today, and he will thank you for your gift to him. Wow. Receive his gift of joy and peace today, and he will thank you for your gift to him. So it's through our receiving, really genuinely receiving. His will is our perfect happiness and joy, right? And perfect peace.
Have you ever noticed?
And by our receiving, he receives a gift.
That's it. That's it. And I'm noticing the connection between joy and our creativity. You notice that when we're in our joy and peace, that's when what we are, our gifts, our talents, our unique expression. Yeah, it's we begin creating, because that's what we do naturally.
Beautiful. So he says here, think of your enemies a little while. Enemies? I don't have any enemies. I used to have a lot. Armies. Thousands, yeah? Think of your enemies a little while and tell each one as he occurs to you, my brother, peace and joy I offer you, that I may have God's peace and joy as mine. Isn't that beautiful? Wow. My brother, peace and joy I offer you, that I may have God's peace and joy as mine. Yeah. Great to say that every 15 minutes all day. Anyway, thus you prepare yourself to recognize God's gifts to you, and let your mind be free of all that would prevent success today. Now, are you ready to accept the gift of peace and joy that God has given you? Now, are you ready to experience the joy and peace that you have denied yourself? Now, you can say, God's peace and joy are mine, for you have given what you would receive. You must succeed today if you prepare your mind as we suggest, for you have let all bars to peace and joy be lifted up, and what is yours can come to you at last. So tell yourself, God's peace and joy are mine. And close your eyes a while and let his voice assure you that the words you speak are true. Spend your 5 minutes thus with him each time you can today. But do not think that less is worthless when you cannot give him more. At least remember hourly to say the words which call to him to give you what he wills to give and wills you to receive. Determine not to interfere today with what he wills. And if a brother seems to tempt you to deny God's gift to him, see it as but another chance to let yourself receive the gifts of God as yours. God's peace and joy are mine. Then bless your brother thankfully and say, my brother, peace and joy I offer you, that I may have God's peace and joy as mine. Beautiful.
Yeah. I was thinking about the sort of things we get tempted by the ego to offer our brothers instead. Seeing them as bodies, right? Or judging them, wanting to use our opinions to separate. So we forgive those, and instead recognizing that as we offer our brothers the peace and joy, that's how we receive our inheritance. That's how we know that they are ours. We can't know that these are already ours until we're willing to give them away to every brother. That's that prayer. The feeling state is when you're willing to share this with every single brother without exception, and knowing that that's how you receive it for yourself. Okay. God's peace and joy are mine. It's funny, I just remember when Jesus was saying in the Bible, my peace I leave with you, not as the world giveth, give I, but he's talking about the peace of God. He says, don't think of peace and joy at the worldly level, the ego's substitute for those. We're talking about God's peace and God's joy, which are limitless and unchanging. That's the gift. Okay.
Beautiful. Breathing that in.
Yes.
Doing these lessons is really, really healing for us. We hope that it's as healing, if not more, for you. Yeah.
Well, it has to, right? As we
we're receiving this.
Yeah. Right. Thank you. Thanks for healing my mind, our mind. Love you guys. We'll see you next time.
Yeah. Bye.